Hey guys, it's Thursday and it's super late, so I'm going to make this as short as I can because I am tired and I need to go to bed so that I can get up and work out, because that's one thing that I've kind of failed at this week. I kind of just wanted to share some of the reasons that I'm motivated to do this, and not only to let other people know, but I need to motivate myself a little bit again. The first reason was my grandparents that I've shared. The second is that I want to be the me that I've always envisioned myself as being. But the third and most important part right now is, in some respects, and this sounds super dramatic, but in some respects, because of all the different illnesses that I have going on, I'm really trying my hardest not to let them overcome me and to kill me. And yes, that sounds dramatic, and yes, it could take years for some of the things that I have, like my fatty liver disease or my polycystic ovarian syndrome, to get to the point where they could lead to other things and I could die. But I think in some respects there's some things that I've waited too long to try and fix. And so I'm motivated to fix those now. Most all, if not all 13 of my health problems can be lessened by losing weight. They can't necessarily be cured by losing weight. In fact, polycystic ovarian syndrome is something, as far as I know, that I will always have. You're welcome to look it up. It's a little convoluted and different for everyone, but it's a syndrome, which means doctors don't exactly know what causes it, which is great. Not so much. But I struggle with a lot of things, like, not like full-blown depression, but moments of very defined depressive thoughts, and insulin resistance, which means I have too much insulin, which creates too much fat, which makes my liver fat, which gives the fatty liver disease, blah, 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 blah. It's weird how it all works in harmony, yet doesn't work at all. So one of my motivations is just to let those things not control me and not be me. And I find it very hard sometimes to pull myself out of the doldrums. This last week I've noticed that I've been sleeping in a lot more again. I haven't wanted to do things. I haven't wanted to go places. I have been busy with some things that overwhelm me. When I get overwhelmed, I tend to stay in my own little box, and I tend to not want to interact with people. And it's kind of my coping mechanism to kind of be by myself, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I've really missed getting out and running. I really wanted to a lot of the time, but I had this play I had to write, and it had to be done today, which I'm glad that it's done today because I don't want to work on it right now. I need some time for me, and it's taken all my free time, and I really wanted to make sure it was good, so I didn't want to lose any time on it. So now I've lost time in running, and I feel like I'm kind of slipping backwards, and then when I feel like that, I feel like I've just got to just give up, and I don't want to do that. My goal is to make sure that I don't give up the second week, because the second week is always what I find to be the hardest. It's like, oh, I did really good that one week. That'll hold me off for 5 years, right? And it just doesn't. But one of my biggest motivations is just to be healthier. For me, like I said, not to make it hugely dramatic, but it's a fight to be myself. It's a fight, and in no way would I ever put myself in line with people who have cancer, because they're literally fighting for their lives, or people who have fatal illnesses or whatever. But I think I've mentioned before that last year, about this time actually, I had to go and get myself checked to make sure that I did not, and I didn't, by the way, but I had to make sure that I got checked to make sure I did not have a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in your lungs, which can be fatal if it's not treated, and sometimes even if it's treated, it can be fatal because they can't fix it, or they try to fix it and something goes wrong. So that was the scariest, literally one of, if not the scariest point in my entire life. And in true me fashion, I sat and worried over it instead of did anything about it. Sorry, it makes me super emotional, and I'm trying not to be the cry person right now. But I realized then, well, actually I didn't realize then, I realize now that was the moment that I needed to get off my butt. I needed to move, I needed to breathe, I needed to do all those things that I had never remembered to do. And let me kind of explain just really quick, and I know this is getting longer than I meant it, but I was told that I had to come in the next day to get it checked, and it was late at night, so they weren't able to bring me in. I think they thought it was serious, but not so serious that I had to go like to an ER right away or anything. But they were really worried because my blood work showed that I had a high level of D-dimer, which can cause blood clots. And so they called me and they said, you have to go in tomorrow. And I was working a job that I'm not working anymore. But basically you couldn't just not show up. So I called them and I said, I have to go. I can't not go to this doctor's appointment. And they, to be honest, were not the most welcoming in regards to that. They needed people to work, and I was scheduled, and I understand that, but I couldn't explain it to them because I was too scared. And I said, I have to go. This is something I can't put off. I've been told if I don't go that they're going to call me and make me go. So I got super scared. And I had an appointment time, and I went in to get a CT scan. I'm sorry, it just reminds me how scared I was. And I had people at my church who were asking if they could come up and see me to make sure I was okay, because my mom was all the way in an hour away town where she lives now, and she called and said that she could be there, and I told her not to, because I thought, well, what's the point? I'm gonna be fine. And she'll have driven all the way down here just to comfort silly little cry baby me again with another medical thing. And I had some people at my church that wanted to know how things went, and they offered to come up, and then they changed where it was going to be, and then I found the right place, and then by the time that person would have gotten there, it would have been over. And anyway, they did this CAT scan where they inject dye into your bloodstream to make sure to see any clots. And the funny part is it makes you feel kind of numb and funny, and it feels like you're using the restroom when you're not really. It's very super awkward because your body gets kind of weirded out. It's that weird numb warm feeling, and it's awkward. And that was the only thing that I thought was funny. They were checking for a blood clot, and the people were super nice. But all I could think of was, if I have this blood clot, what comes next? If I have this, what comes next? And I got out of there, and I sat in the waiting room, and I had to wait. I had to wait for them to tell me whether or not I had a clot in my lungs that I would have to get changed. And there were all these people sitting around probably waiting for things just as scary. And I thought to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't tell anybody that then, and I didn't tell anybody that for months. But one of my biggest motivations is I don't want to do this anymore. In fact, Wednesday I'm going to get my nerves looked at, and right now my right leg is asleep. But it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to have to explain why I feel the way I feel. I don't want my body to work this convoluted, messed up, complex way. It's always going to be complex. In fact, a body starts out as complex, and it's amazing in its complexity. But this is just ridiculous. And I don't want to do it anymore. And I refuse to do it anymore. I refuse to let it control me. And I'm going to get it in control. And I'm going to be the me that I've always wanted to be, and I'm going to look the way I've always wanted to look. And I'm going to be healthy. I'm not going to be sickly skinny, and I'm not going to be sickly fat. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be average, and I'm going to be healthy. And I need to remind myself that that's why I'm doing this. Just to remind myself that I'm doing this because I want to have an abundant and full and awesome life. And I need to get myself out there and go running in the morning. And I better gosh darn do it. Because if I don't, I've given up on myself entirely. And I'm not willing to do that. And I don't want to get all religious on some of you who don't like religion, but God doesn't give up on me, so I'm not giving up on me. Anyway, long story short, I'm going running in the morning. And I hope all of you who need a little motivation are motivated a little bit by that. I don't know. But I just know that sometimes we just have to do it and continue to do it until it becomes part of the routine and until it becomes part of us. And just another thing that we do is run or walk or jog or exercise or eat healthy. It's just another thing we do. And it'll catch on, and the whole world might even become healthy food, granola nuts or something, I don't know. But it's better for us to do that instead of all of us waiting in the waiting room, hoping that the news isn't that bad. So that's my challenge. If there's anything that's holding you back, just realize that you are worth it. You're completely worth it. You're completely worth it, and you deserve to have the life you've always wanted. I know I have. I deserve to have that life. I deserve to give myself that much credit. Because I'm tired of waiting rooms and I'm tired of doctors. And now I'm tired of staying awake. I'm going to go to sleep. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.